I'm Karen Elgersma at the London Chef, and we are going to teach you how to make some brittle. And you're watching Go Island on ShawTV. On today's show, we discover why spoken word poetry has attracted so many artists from all over the world. And we'll show you how you can get involved in the great Canadian food fight. All that and much more on Go Island. Hello, thank you so much for joining us on Go Island. We are cooking with our favorite chef today, Dan Hayes, the London Chef, and it is officially harvest season. It's that time of year where we want to think about cooking foods for, harvest meals. We want to start thinking about Christmas just around the corner. So we have a very cool show for you today, because what are we going to teach everyone?
We're going to do something that's sort of very Christmassy and wintry and Thanksgiving-y.
Yes.
We're going to do a brittle with some wonderful nuts, pecans, and some toasted pumpkin seeds, and some orange, some chili, some nutmeg, and the key ingredient, some salt.
Yeah, you know how you and I feel about salt.
I think we know where it's going to be.
I know, we have a love on for Vancouver Island salt. So let's get going. What's the first thing we want to do?
So the first thing is just a little touch of sugar.
Yeah.
So, be bloody careful. It's sugar, and it's going to melt, and it's going to get fairly hot.
Yeah.
In it goes to a pan.
Nice.
We just want to, it's sweet. There's a lot of sugar there. Just have a small piece.
Yes, just a little one. It's fine.
A small piece every day.
We're allowed a little.
Keeps the doctor away.
Yeah, it sure does. It does. It's been scientifically proven by Dan Hayes and I. Okay.
And we're just going to let this start to melt and start to caramelize.
Excellent.
Then over here, let's see what we've got. I call them pecans. What do you call them?
Pecans.
Pecans.
It's because I was in a play once, and I was trained to do a southern accent for this play, Crimes of the Heart, and she taught me to say pecan, and it stuck, okay? It stuck. Pecan. Okay.
I quite like that, pecan.
I know.
Sounds very exotic.
I know. It was one of my favorite lines in the play, yes.
And we have pumpkin seeds.
Okay.
And these ones, they've been toasted. I just bought them toasted. Of course, you could do it yourself, but they do seem to do them rather well in a shop. And we have nutmeg.
Oh, look at this.
I'm a huge fan. Do you like nutmeg?
I love nutmeg.
I think of rice pudding when I think of nutmeg.
I think of eggnog.
Eggnog, yeah.
I think of eggnog when I think of nutmeg, yes.
And then, of course, the mace on the outside is great as well.
Yeah.
And with nutmeg, I don't like to use a grater. What I like to do is shave some down so you have a flat edge.
Oh, my God.
And you get little shavings. And then it's not quite as fine. And it means you get little chunks. One bite, no nutmeg. Another bite, chunk of nutmeg. You can see what's happening.
Oh, that's so cool.
I think sugar's so clever. You have this tasteless white sweet substance that you can turn into a caramel, and you can go from nutty golden to almost bitter dark. It's getting cold outside.
It is, baby.
So let's warm everything up with some chili flakes. And of course, can we do it in unison?
Yes.
Vancouver Island sea salt.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Andrew Shepherd, rock star.
Absolutely. He's done some great things recently as well.
Oh, my gosh.
Absolute hero. And of course, we're on an island, Vancouver Island sea salt. Beautiful stuff. Sweet and salty. Why do we think of oranges in Christmas? Because, of course, they have nothing to do with, I don't know.
I know. It's just this thing.
You can't have mulled wine without orange, so it's something we think of.
I know.
We want the zest. That sexy part, remember?
Yes.
The bit from the outside. So we're just going to take off a nice big strip like that, and then remove the pith.
You have to remove the pith, otherwise it will get in the way of the cooking. All right.
Really well.
Yeah.
It's no good. No good for anything.
No.
So remove.
Off with the pith.
Off with the pith. So just run your knife. You got to be a little bit careful doing this.
You do.
Run your knife along there, and just keep going until all that pith comes off. You see?
It'd be a pity if you didn't get all the pith.
It really would be a pity, yeah. So there we go, all that's off.
Okay.
And now we can just cut it down into what chefs like to call a chiffonade.
Ah, chiffonade.
A little bit unnecessary, but that's what we call it. And you just want to go relatively fine. But the great thing about doing this, as opposed to using a grater, is it's not going to be in every bite.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know,
Yeah.
like one bite there's going to be a chunk, and the next bite there isn't.
Right.
So each bite's different, and as you break it, you'll have strands of zest going
Oh,
through.
I love that. We are going to continue to teach you how to make your very own homemade brittle. But first, have you ever heard of spoken word? It's poetry meets acting, meets performing, and Raja Kabli, our very own video journalist, is actually a spoken word artist. And this weekend there's a festival. She's going to show us the 411 of spoken word poetry. The Spoken Word Festival is happening this weekend. Go online and find out how you can be part of it. And we're doing poetry of food today at the London Chef. We're making some brittle. Tell us where we're at here.
So here we have caramel, a nice dark caramel. Be very, very, very careful. It's so hot. If anything ever goes wrong, cold water straight away.
Okay.
You know, just be careful. We've got butter, unsalted butter.
Okay.
And we're going to put a chunk straight in. Just look at that. Wow, I love it when it all starts to fizz and bubble.
Beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful? It really is, you know?
It is.
There are times when things in the kitchen are beautiful.
It is.
And that is a beautiful thing. When that butter has started to incorporate,
Yes.
let's get our orange and nutmeg in.
Nice.
Because it will almost start to cook it. Incorporate that. Now some chili.
I love the mixture, the nutmeg, the chili, the salt, the sugar. It's just so fun, all these flavors.
And don't be scared, there's a lot of sweetness, so it can take a lot of salt.
Gotcha.
Now we can go with some pumpkin seeds. And some, how do you call them?
Pecans.
Some pecans. We've got some are broken and some are cut.
Yes.
Some are broken and some are just halved. And just get all this mixed in. We might need to go back on the heat now.
Okay.
Because of course we put in a load of cold ingredients.
So it's cool.
So it can sort of
Yeah.
cool down a bit.
Oh, it's already looking beautiful.
Back on the heat like that. And here we've got a baking sheet.
Look at that. Well, while we wait for the brittle to be just perfect to put on the tray, we are going to inspire all of you to be part of this year's Great Canadian Food Fight. Great Canadian Food Fight. It is such a fun event this year. If you want to be part of it, come down to the Save on Foods Memorial Center, drop off your food in our big blue bin because we want to win the fight. And of course, everyone's a winner because we are helping feed people here on Vancouver Island. Now, speaking of feeding people, we're here at the London Chef. We are about to put our brittle on the tray. Dan Hayes.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's pour it out.
Okay.
So we'll be very careful with this, of course. Very hot. Just pour it all out like this. Make sure you get it all out, including any of the liquid caramel over the top. And there we go. We just leave that now to solidify.
We are going to let this settle, and we're also going to tell you a really cool event that's happening here at the London Chef, an ongoing event where we marry my two favorite things in the world, books and food. We're also going to learn a little bit more about our Royals. That's right, hockey season's here, my friends. I am so excited about the Good Book Club here at the London Chef because honestly, and I'm not just saying this because I'm standing next to you, Dan Hayes, but my two favorite things in the world are books and food. And the fact that one of my favorite chefs in the world has combined this into an event here at the London Chef, it's like paradise, utopia. Tell us about the Good Book Club.
Well, it's a fun thing. Essentially, people buy the book, and we've paired up with Bolin Books for this.
Yes.
And read the book.
We love.
And then, of course, come and talk about the book.
Yes.
But you eat while you're doing it. So the book is always something sort of food related, a novel where food is one of the key
Yeah,
components.
like Eat, Pray, Love or A Lunch in Paris.
yeah.
That idea that it's a novel or a memoir about food. It's not a cookbook, right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And the dinner, we try to sort of inspire the three-course meal from the book. So people sit at our lovely table and chat about the book and eat and read the next one and come again.
The Good Book Club. I love this idea so much. we have to take a very short break, but please stay with us because we are going to try that brittle out, and I'll tell you how good it tastes. And we're also going to give you some ideas on what's hot in the job market.
So, there we go.
Oh,
It
look
just
at
peels
that.
off. And you can see it's just a little bit soft.
I love it.
You can actually mold it when it's like this, you know, if you wish. But it's the edges are brittle.
Yeah.
And if you just left that a little bit longer, the whole thing would become hard. Are we going to break a tooth on television?
It's worth it for me. I'm willing to break a tooth to try it. Well, I want to thank you, as always, Dan Hayes, for inspiring us to get in our kitchen, cook fun food, and do it with a smile on our face. And I want to thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time. Let's try it. Cheers, friend. Wow.
Women's clothing provided by Tulip Noir, casual designer fashions. Men's wardrobe by DG Bremner & Co. Menswear and accessories. Hair services provided by Salon J.